Hello artists! Today we're going to start a lesson where we paint the color wheel in the shape of a flower. And before we get started, we always put our name, our teacher's name, and our table number on here. So you can go ahead and do that. I'll give you a minute for that. All right, got that on there. Next, we're going to practice using our feather pencil. Now, using a feather pencil means writing very lightly so that we're able to erase. That's our number one way to fix any mistake that we might have. Now, you can see I've got two pencils. This one has a feather, and that's to remind us that we're going to use a feather pencil. Now, what I want you to do is on the back where you have your name, teacher, and table number, I want you to just do some very, very light scribbles and then erase those scribbles. And if you're able to make those disappear all the way, then you know you have passed the eraser test and you have used your pencil as a feather pencil. So let's take a minute to see if we can pass that eraser test. Great. Okay, we've got some practice now. And we're going to turn our paper over now, and we're going to begin drawing out our flower. Now you're going to use your feather pencil still, so that if you make mistakes, you can erase. But I'm going to use this little piece of black oil pastel. Oil pastel is a lot like crayons, but it's oilier, more oily. And we're going to do this because we are going to be making with this oil pastel a bunch of little swimming pools, so that when we paint next class, we are going to be able to keep that color inside of each one of these little swimming pools that we create with the oil pastel. So you're going to do pencil first. You're going to do all of your lines in pencil, and then you're going to trace it in oil pastel. But because it's hard for the camera to see pencil, I'm going to go straight to oil pastel. So everybody take a minute to get a pencil in their hand, and you're going to follow along with me. We're first going to draw this circle, and it's just about in the middle of the page. It's okay if yours is a little higher, a little lower. We're all different. Now I want you to press lightly with your pencil. Okay, remember we're using a feather pencil. And when you get to the oil pastel part, you're going to press very hard with the oil pastel so you can get a nice, smooth black line. This is what happens if you press really lightly with the oil pastel. The watercolor paint, it leaks out. You can see right here that the purple has bled through the little swimming pool because I didn't make that very dark. And you can see right here that it stayed in this shape that I wanted it to stay in. Okay, so you're using pencil, but when you are ready for oil pastel, then I want you to do your oil pastel very dark. Okay, and you might have to go over it in some places. So I'm going to do 1, 2, 3 petals. 1, 2, 3 petals. Okay, and now I'm going to put these smaller ones in. One, 2, 3. Now it's super important when you are using your oil pastel that you be really careful with your hand, because if I do like this, see how that smeared? I don't want to smear my picture. I'm going to hold this up closer to the camera. You can see how it smeared. So I need to keep my hand off of the page. I got to hold my hand just like this off of the page. I want to be careful that my hand's not going to be smearing it. You know, that's what would happen. Now, if this does happen to you, that's okay, because the watercolor paint will hide that a little bit. Okay, you don't need to start all over because of that. But we're just going to do what we can to try not to smear it. Now I'm going to put the stem in. I'm going to make my stem pretty wide so that I can paint inside of it. Maybe you want to add a leaf. Okay. And now I can put some different decorations in. I'm going to put the background in. my horizon line. This is turning into like a hill. This is a hillside right here. And I'm making sure that I'm keeping my oil pastel nice and dark. Okay, I'm gonna put some grass blades in. You could put an insect or some kind of animal. Okay, maybe I'll put a cloud over here. The sun's peeking through right there. Okay, so there's my drawing. Now you were doing a feather pencil, and now you're going to go back and you're going to get an oil pastel and make sure that you trace your lines and try not to smear, okay, your painting there.